I'm on my own today, guys, and I am still asking for you guys to pray for Kero Ann. She's still in a hospital, and at the moment, it's just we're taking each day as it comes. And so if you guys can keep her in prayers, that would be really, I'll be really grateful. And her family, they'll be really grateful. So our topic today, today we're talking about love. Love is something that is beautiful. Why most relationships end in the first year? Why do all these relationships? Love is a beautiful thing. Life is a thing where when you find love, it's amazing. We get excited to talk about it. We get excited when we find love to go and tell our family about love. So today I'm going to cover the year of discovery. When you meet somebody, is the year of discovery. The honeymoon phase, when the dust settles, communication barriers, silence killers, and unrealistic expectations. When people get into relationships, sometimes people have these expectations and external pressure from friends and family, social media. Sometimes when people find love, they want take pictures, they want the social media to know what they get up to. There's so much pressure because our friends are doing it, so we have to do it. And our family as well, we work so hard, the pressure, making sure that our family are happy. But while our friends as well, we make sure that they are happy through while we meet our spouse, and we forget that life is a blessing. Life is a blessing that you have to enjoy it. You have to take each step, each day, like step by step. If you do things because you want to please somebody, that's why most relationships don't work. They don't last because they don't enjoy that relationship. They do it to please the other people. And also the evolution of individualist identity. I'm going to cover that. I'm going to cover financial strains, the unspoken challenge. Finances, sometimes they give strain. Intimacy is more than just physically. Coping with past baggage. Sometimes we enter a relationship and we don't deal with our past baggage, and we expect somebody else to actually help us, to actually accept us. So we expect that person to be, when you have, like, let's say, I'm gonna make it like when you have COVID. When you have COVID, you ring the doctors, and the doctors, you tell them you've done the test, and they tell you what how to care for yourself and things like that. And then you care for yourself, making sure that you stay away from people, you stay at home. That is caring, that is looking after yourself. But when it comes to baggage, when we have our own baggage, we ignore them. We don't want to deal with them. We expect to enter a relationship, that relationship to work, while this relationship with baggage is still there. So I'm going to cover that, guys, and I hope that for those who are watching, feel free to comment. If you have dealt with baggage in your life, let me know how you have dealt with, and also the role of external influence, the digital age, and how to overcome these challenges and building the foundation for lasting love. So it's very important to understand that the first year in a relationship, it feels like a voyage. Two people, they embark on a journey where it's the journey of discovery. They both get excited. They're discovering each other's world, and they can't keep their hands off each other. They navigate the waters of intimacy, commitment, and they talk about their shared dreams, their sharing dreams, their failed with first, and the first fight, and there's first trip. So we have the first fight. Normally the first fight comes up when we have to visit families, or maybe we visit families and the families don't accept us, don't accept the other part. Then the fight starts. Why your mom doesn't like me? And maybe is the mother of the guy, or maybe is the mother of the woman. Why doesn't she like me? Or why your family don't like me and stuff? Then the fight starts. And now and then when you order, like let's say you want to go out or celebrating, maybe let's say birthdays, the fights can start at then that moment as well. Or maybe where to go on holiday, the argument can start with the disagreement. And first trip, and that's when both the parties, they both realizing that that moment that maybe, like let's say the toothpaste, maybe using different toothpaste, and sometimes people fight for leaving the seat, toilet seat up. When man goes to the toilet, they leave the toilet seat up, and the woman goes in the toilet seat up. She gets so annoyed, really, really so annoyed. She's like, you know what? I cannot put up with this. Like maybe they're dating for 3 months, and he's visiting more, she's visiting, or maybe she's visiting him more, or he's visiting her more. So she's like, you know what? I can't stand this. He's leaving the toilet seat on up. And then that becomes another argument, that a frustration. If you were to ask me, guys, is it a problem when a man leaves a seat up? If you were to ask me, I will tell you that I have better things to do in life than to worry about the toilet seat. Honestly, is the last thing, like if we look at life now, things are changed, things have changed. We live in this world where we have to cherish each and every single day. So it's very, very important to actually embrace the life that we have. So, and in that moment, the first year is also a year of adjustment, and not every couple survives it. So it's a year of adjustment, and everything is, the routines, they change, everything changes. Now, the person that was once single, they didn't have a spouse, and now they have a spouse. We spend time, we're looking for them. I have to find this person. I have to find the love of my life. When I do find the love of my life, that love of my life, start irritating me. They start doing things instead of embracing things. It's all about the mindset. If you ask me, everything we do in life is all about the mindset. If I was to go to, like, let's say toilet seat is being left by men, mostly it's men that leaves the toilet seat up. So if I go to the toilet, I want to do a wee-wee, then I get annoyed. Up, down, 1 second, it takes less than a second. And then socks, sometimes men, they just leave socks laying on the floor. I can just pick them up and put them in the washing machine. It wouldn't take me long. When that person does that, that means there are some things, little things that a woman is doing as well without realizing. So it's very, very important to actually, when you enter a relationship, just enjoy that relationship. And so many relationships. So the question now is, why do so many relationships falter? Is crucial, period. First, the expectations set during the early days of a relationship. Often we have this honeymoon phase that can be unrealistic. It's time when love is blind, and we are more willing to overlook flaws. But when you enter, I used to do that when I enter a relationship, I'll overlook flaws. But when I actually decided that, you know what, my relationship all end up the same story. So I decided to actually not to overlook anything, not to judge anything, but to enjoy my relationship. When I enter a relationship, just to enjoy it. And when you enjoy that relationship and also not judge anybody, and also understand that a relationship will progress with good communications, and if there are misunderstandings in the relationship and miscommunications, that can create problems. So many couples, unfortunately, they lack the tools. They don't know the tools that will actually help them to bridge these gaps in a relationship. They just go blinded, hoping that the beauty, I used to think that my beauty will save my relationship. I used to think that, you know what, if I dress up nicely for this man and just be beautiful, he will just love me for me. But relationship requires you to have the tools. It requires you to actually have the skills. It requires you to know how to design your own life in that relationship. It requires your true authenticity. It requires you to create your own character, your own identity, image, self-image. It has to be authentic when you enter the relationship. So you have to know what you want in that relationship. Can I have expectations in my relationship? For me, is what the person brings to that relationship and what I bring to the relationship. That is the only thing that I have no expectations from anybody. The only expectations that I have is the expectations from God. I expect God to fulfill his promises that are written in the Bible, which is my happiness, the happiness within me. And when I have that word happiness within me, then I can share that happiness with somebody else that I am dating. So that is my expectations. If I enter a relationship and tell myself that I have these expectations, my expectations is the traits that the person brings into a relationship, with their character, their identity, their image, their values, their beliefs. Those are the things that I some of them, they are non-negotiable. And I need somebody with integrity, somebody that has respect. So those are the expectations that I expect when I'm dating somebody. And so it is very, very important when you are dating somebody for the first year to actually understand the power of communication barriers, and words, they often serve as steps and gets to lead a partners through their shared journey. When we speak, the words that we speak, we communicate it to our spouse. They help our spouse to go through that journey with us. So it helps them understand the journey, where we want to go. And but there are some things that, like unsaid words and the unheard sentiments, that the rhythm, they may cause a couple to step on each other's toes. So if you leave things unsaid, or if you feel like you are not being heard, or maybe sometimes you speak to somebody and that person, you feel that they are not actually taking you serious. So it's very, very important when a man and a woman they enter a relationship. It's important for them to understand that as the couple, as they transition together and to this honeymoon phase, is the necessity of clear, compassionate, and consistent communication is very, very crucial. It's the critical component of how relationship is able to move forward. So when you meet somebody, know that there will be misunderstanding in that relationship. There will be misinterpretation in that relationship. One of the communication barriers is simple misunderstandings. So when somebody feels that they've been misunderstood, that's when the barriers comes in. And also the comments of innocent intentions that can destroy a relationship. What might mean like a simple observation or a playful tease or other people might interpret it as an accusation of neglect. So it's very, very important to actually make sure that when you are in a relationship, you deal with those things and more to actually just to keep things funny. A relationship, when we enter a relationship to enjoy every moment with that person. So if we enter a relationship to actually start judging each other and start looking at what we do wrong, what we don't do right. So when the first thing for me that I always say in a relationship is when somebody chooses somebody, they select them, it means that they like them. If the relationship goes on for 6 months, the first 6 months, that means you get to know the person. And that means if it goes over 6 months, that means you accept that person. Because if you were to select somebody by mistake, maybe they start showing up their character that you did not see when you met them. That means you let it go straight away. You wouldn't continue that relationship. So you would just say, that's not for me. But if it passes 6 months, it means that person, both of the people, both of you agree that you are happy with each other and you want to take this relationship to the next level. So that's fine. And then now we talk about baggage. Baggage is a big problem when it comes to relationship. Emotional baggage and past traumas. Me and Claudia on Tuesday, we were talking about the trauma. Everyone enters a relationship with a baggage from the past. But I didn't enter a relationship with a baggage from the past. I will tell you why. When my relationship ended, I went to a phase where I needed to find myself, where I needed to have a proper relationship with myself, to find out the things that were making my relationship to end in the same cycle. So I had to deal with it. I spent a year, very, very intense, dealing with it without blaming my spouse, without blaming anyone, intense dealing with myself. Just dealing with the problems, dealing with the things that the trauma of my past, dealing with the rejection of my past, dealing with so many things. So I had to deal with that. But now that I was ready, when I entered my relationship, I was no longer holding that baggage of my past. I was grateful to it. I was grateful to trauma that I went through. I was grateful to the rejection that I went through to it, because if it wasn't for that trauma, if it wasn't for rejection, I wouldn't have become the person that I am today. So I got to learn the skills. I got to learn the skills that when people reject you, it doesn't mean that they are rejecting you. It means they have their own baggage that they need to deal with. So those are the things that I had to deal with as a person. So you can deal with that. So now we have to talk about dealing with the baggage. When we're dealing with the baggage, somebody, let's say somebody who has been cheated, and they might be really, really hypersensitive, and to any sign of distance of maybe secrecy, or and even like if it's unintentionally, they might even actually they might behave really, really different. So if you date is that person, or maybe sometimes it's childhood betrayal, or sometimes it could be previous heartbreak, or sometimes it could be we mentioned the cheating, when somebody's been cheated or if somebody's been rejected. So some people believe that avoiding confrontation or by suppressing their feelings, they are perceiving harmony in reality. But what happens when you avoid these things, the trauma, it can bring concerns often simmer beneath the surface, only to explore at a later time over seemingly and trivial matter. So you have to deal with the situation. When you go through pain, when you go through rejection, you have to deal with it. You cannot ignore it. You cannot say, you know what, I'm going to be okay. I'm going to deal with it. That's the only way, is to deal with it by going through the problem, facing the problems and going through it. Once you go through the problem, then you are able to live your life. You are able to meet your spouse. For me, when I'm in a relationship, I'm not looking for somebody to satisfy me. I'm not looking for somebody to actually, my needs are fulfilled by me. And then that person has to fulfill their needs. We come together as one, we get linked together to actually make each other happy. But first, we have to be happy within. When happiness is found in our lives, we will never be disappointed. Because when you are happy, that means the person that you are dating is happy. So it's very, very important to deal with the trauma, to deal with baggage, whatever that might be. So now we talk about the digital age distraction. Today's digital age poses a very, very unique challenge to effective communication. We have mobile phones. We have text messages can be devoid of tone and context, leading to misinterpretation. Now we can send messages because we're avoiding each other. We don't want to talk, so we're going to send messages because we have this smartphone that we have and we can afford them. They are really beautiful. But instead of getting deep into conversation, sometimes people can lead to feelings of neglect or unimportant. So it's very, very important, if you're dating somebody, if you're in a relationship with somebody, if they've done something or there's something that you need to discuss, don't discuss it over the text. Just talk to them direct. And then we have the thing of the path forward. So the path forward is the way to actually, when you are in a relationship, the relationship is going well, is having the awareness of the first dismantling communication barriers. Recognizing and addressing those challenges can help your relationship, and also it can help couples to cultivate a relationship that is built on understanding, trust, and mutual respect. So if you understand the path where you're going, active listening, listen to your spouse, or where the other person, they truly, if they are communicating with you, words without immediate formulating response, they mean nothing. So it can bridge many communication gaps. So it's very important to communicate with your spouse and making sure that you both on the same page. And once you're all on the same page, then you create the life that you want, setting aside dedicated time for open, judgment-free conversation, ensuring that both parties feel heard and valued is very important. Communications is a skill. It requires practice. It requires patience, persistence. So if you want to communicate with your spouse, some people, they prefer the silent killer that threatens to drive them apart. I used to do that. The silence killer, where when somebody does something wrong, you don't want to talk to them. You just want to be left alone. So how do you deal with that? It's all comes down to personal development. It all comes down to self-love. It all comes down to self-care. When you care for yourself, you will learn to care for others. But if you don't care for yourself, then you wouldn't care about anybody else. So it's all comes down to caring. So that's the other thing. How do you deal with the unrealistic expectations in a relationship? So every relationship is born with a whirlwind of dreams. When you meet somebody today, that relationship, that person will have dream, and you have dreams, hopes, and desires. So it's these very expectations that shape our interaction. So what expectations do you have for your relationship? Define vision for your future. And however, these expectations tip over in the realm of the unrealistic. Some people have expectations that they're too much, can become detrimental, can actually drain the person, and the relationship that was most promising, it can be left dead just by somebody's expectations in a relationship. So what are your expectations? Remember in the beginning, I said to you, I don't have expectations to anyone. Because for me, when I meet somebody in a relationship, if that person has a vision for their lives, they have a vision for me, and they are hardworking, they work really hard, and their values, we share the same values. We share similar interest, and then we have different interest where we can go and share with our friends, and then we go and do things together as well. So I'm cool with that. As long as our vision align together with what we both looking for, those, I'm okay with that. But I cannot have expectations from a human being, because if I have expectations for that person to fulfill my expectations, that means I'll be disappointed. And then when I'm disappointed, that's when the relationship is not going to work. So I've learned the hard way that my expectations, I put everything in God. With my spouse, I can tell you, I make sure that our vision aligns with my vision. His vision and my visions aligns with his. I make sure that he's a hardworking person, I'm a hardworking person. And then in that way, we complement each other. We all have dreams. We all want to accomplish something. We have these beautiful and desires that are similar. But I will not expect him to fulfill my desires because this person is not a God. So my God is when I go to God and say, you know what, God, give me the anointing to take my life to the next level. I don't expect my spouse to take my life to the next level, because the moment that I do not get what I expect, that moment my relationship breaks. So I do not expect them to actually I do not expect them to fulfill me. I do not expect them to. The expectations that I have is all these like strong values that I have. There are some traits that I cannot trade, which is they have to be similar. They have to be similarity, like a family values. Those are things that I cannot. If my spouse is an architect, I'm a provider. If my spouse is a provider, it gives me he has an attitude of a character of a provider. He works hard, he goes to work, he earns money, provides for himself, he provides for his family. He's fine with me. I'm a provider as well. If my spouse is an architect, I'm a mentor. So that means I'll be able, he has a vision for me, he has a vision for himself. So that means I can mentor him for that vision to come to reality. So when it comes to, if my spouse is a teacher, it means now we plan to have a future for his children. And now he has to guide me through. He's a man. A man has to, when it comes to the house, a man has to behave like a man. A man is a protector, is my protector. God is my protector, but my man is my protector too. So when I come to the house, I'm not saying I need to feel safe. No, I don't do that. So when I come to the house, I need to know my man is my protector. So he's a teacher. So he leads me now. He has to lead me with the family values. These are the values that we are going to live by as a family. And we have to come to an agreement where our values have to align with who we are becoming that moment. So once we both understand we have similar values, everything is aligned together. For me to have unrealistic expectations, that wouldn't be fair, because this man is not a God. For me to say I expect him to do this for me, I expect him to make sure that I'm okay, to make sure I deal with my wounds. If I need a medication or I'm sick, I need to go to the doctors. I do not ask my spouse to actually heal me. So that is that with the relationship. When I'm wounded, if I feel that I'm wounded, I have to get a therapist to help me through my healing. If I feel that I'm wounded, I have to pray to God and ask God to have mercy on me. Sometimes it could be the pain, I could be the enemy of my own. So I cannot expect my spouse to actually fulfill my desires. So those are some of the expectations that things go wrong in relationships, because we expect somebody else to actually heal our wounds. We expect somebody else to make us happy. But actually, we need to make us happy by making sure that we live the life that we want. So those are the things that when I say I don't have expectations from somebody, I don't. Because at the end of the day, this man is a man. He's a man, and at the same time, if I feel that I have like the desires I've experienced maybe in my past that make me feel uncomfortable, or if there's a pressure or like personal desires and stuff, I got to talk about it. And also the things that inspires me. I have to discuss it with him. But when it comes to life, life is for us to live. Life is for us to enjoy. And we have to recognize those unrealistic expectations, because they can actually destroy our relationship. We expect, like I've mentioned, that if we expect your spouse to complete you and to fix you, the relationship is not going to work, which is 99% of people out there, or 80%. That's what they expect their spouse to fix them, believing that love and passion will remain constant. That is not real. That's not the reality. What we see in the movie is not the reality. And also, we think that is going to remain constant without any other flaw. And also thinking that conflict shouldn't occur in perfect relationship. So conflict can appear, is fine. You can deal with it, hoping that our spouse will instinctively know and actually cater to all our needs without communications. We have to communicate our needs. We have to let our spouse know what we want, what we desire. Dealing with the unrealistic expectations, you have to self-reflect. Dealing with them, reflection is very, very important before projecting expectations to your spouse. Reflect on yourself. Take a moment to actually reflect on the origins of, like me say, the born of our insecurity. If you are somebody who's got insecurity, I used to have insecurity before, but I realized this insecurity is a waste of time. I don't worry about anything anymore. The reason why I don't worry about anything anymore is I come to realize that, life is a game. And it is a game where if you don't accept yourself for who you are, no one will ever accept you. So I've learned to accept myself. I've learned to love myself. I've learned to actually work on myself and just not to worry about what people think, because we worry too much about what people think. So in that part, to be honest with you, the only thing that I fear is God. What people think, I don't really care. Because no matter how hard you try to be good, no matter how hard you try to please somebody, they will always find fault in whatever you do. So the only thing for me that I care about is loving. That one I care about. I just love. I give love. I know if I don't give love, that means I'm not a nice person. All I do is I just give love. I don't really worry about what people think, because, life is a game. If we worry about what this person think, what that one think, we're not going to be happy. We're just going to be miserable. So I might as well enjoy life by surrendering to God and say, take me as I am, and just enjoy the present moment. And that's what I do. So I don't worry about what people think anymore. I used to worry about what people think. There's so many things I used to worry about. So I don't worry about that anymore. I just love my family. I love my friends. And I'm just there for them if they need me. Got rid of insecurities. I used to think that I need to, I watch TV, there's reality TV. I need to Brazil party. I need to go maybe one day and have my boob job done. But now I'm realizing that my body is okay the way it is. I just loving myself, loving my body, and unapologetic, and just know that I was created. God created me to be it means I'm so special to him. So that's the only thing that I do, is just loving myself and loving people around me. I don't worry about what people think, because if you do worry about people thinking, trust me, people will put you to the grave with stress. So I don't do that. And open communication. Communicate your expectations from that person. Principles, I call it the principles. They have principles in place for your spouse to understand your world. And also respect is very, very important. Educate yourself, read books, go on social media, maybe like videos, listen to videos, read books, videos, audios, counseling, have a coach that can help you to understand this world of love. What is love mean? And also avoid comparing your life to other people. Avoid comparison is a thief of joy. Every relationship is unique. Really, really unique. I'm not sure how I can explain this. When you meet your spouse, you select them because you know that they are enough. You know that you want to spend the rest of your life with that person. Once you meet that person and you have a relationship with them, don't compare them with your people that you see on social media, or compare them with the family members that, you know what, when I'm this family, when I'm with them, they talk about this, they talk about that, but my spouse, it doesn't. Your spouse is fine. Don't compare yourself with anybody. You are unique. You were born to be something on earth. That person was born to be something on earth. So just enjoy your life. Really, really enjoy your life. Become the person that you want to become, that God created you to become, and live every moment. Enjoy your relationship. You don't need to compare. When you see pictures, people going on holiday, and then you are like, why don't, maybe you can't afford to go on a holiday because of other things. Like myself, my life is just unique, it's different from anybody else, and I'm aware of that. My life is different. It's not different or because it's better. No, it's not. It's because of how it's designed. Its design is specific for me and my spouse. So there is no way that the other person can enter and start comparing their lives, and their lives will work. So it doesn't work. So we design, whoever we meet, we design that relationship is specific for those two people. So avoid comparing your relationship with other people, is theft of joy, and stay grounded in reality. Stay grounded. While aspiration is essential, is equal, vital to be rooted in the present reality. Celebrate the small moment and cherish the genuine connection instead of constantly chasing an illusion ideal. There are some people who are chasing things that don't exist. They read the movies, they will actually watch the movies, and then when they watch the movie, they want their spouse to pretend like the movies doesn't exist. Expect to love your spouse for who they are. You've chosen, you have a choice. You wouldn't be with them if you didn't love them, or if you didn't want to be with them. So if we are with them, it means that person we choose to be in that moment, in that environment, and they choose us. So enjoy every moment of your relationship. And flexibility and adaptability is very, very important. It's very, very, when you actually, when circumstances change, we go with the change. We don't say, oh, you know what, this person has changed. When I met them, they were this, now they've changed. People grow. So we have to see that, and we grow. And sometimes a relationship can evolve over time rather than getting these rid of expectations. So, and then the other one thing is seek professional guidance. is very, very important. If you don't understand the things in a relationship, seek professional guidance and be with, and mostly if you accept, like if you don't understand something and then you'll be able to actually get professional coaching and stuff, and also reality checks. Check the reality. When you do the reality checks, it reminds you that social media shows only a fragment of reality. Every couple has their own struggle, which they might not broadcast on social media. So have your private moment, enjoy your relationship. So I've mentioned the challenges earlier, how to overcome challenges in a relationship, but I didn't go step by step. So unified response is when you actually go through your challenges with your spouse and making sure that you're both on the same page, you're both looking for the same thing, and focus on the relationship each day. And at the end of the day, is the bond is between you and your spouse that matters. Prioritize the connection and mutual understanding, external opinions, and also over external opinions. So the connection is very, very important. You need to connect with your spouse. And also, how do we deal with identity? Identity, I mentioned the self-awareness. Got to be aware of who you are. Communications, open communications, active listening, seeking shared experiences, and the benefits, and also creating your image. Your image has to align with what you want in that relationship. If you are marriage material, if you want to get married, you got to behave like a married material. So we cannot say we want to get married and then the next thing we go out for a birthday party and then we start getting our spouse jealous. We think we're making them jealous so they can love us more by flirting with somebody else. So if you are married material, your spouse, you're both looking for the same thing, regardless of how much they've pissed you off. You cannot go and flirt with somebody else. We can't do that, but some people do. That's hurting somebody's feelings, and that's not. We can't do that. So we have to. We have to understand the character. Our character is very, very important, and celebrate your growth. I've mentioned that before, that make sure that you are celebrating your relationship. Finances can be really a strain in a relationship, and they could bring some disagreement. Sometimes if somebody has spending habits, the burden of debt, so that can cause problems as well. So create financial goals, both of you. Money matters can help you. Just if you both work hard and to make sure that there are some people who expect their spouse, mostly they expect men to provide more than they can. So if you are a woman out there, please make sure that you don't send your spouse to the grave very quickly, because your spouse will keep working and they'll keep doing all these things thinking that they are making you happy, but they're not. Because if they're not happy, that means the relationship is no good. So make sure that, and shared financial goals, create financial goals, and identify your long-term goals and short goals. or could be buying a home together, or retirement planning, or being on the same page is just very crucial. With your create a budget if you can, and also understand each other's money mindset. That is very, very, very important. And you take action. Some people might have a different approach, but don't mix finances, please. Whatever you do, keep your independent with your finances. That's very, very, very important to do the things that you want to do. And because when you mix up the finances and stuff, the other person may feel that they are not independent anymore. So what contributes to the lack of communication? It contributes to the relationship breakup, and everything might seem like perfect, like I said before. And if you have unexpressed expectations, that can or maybe unresolved conflict, can slowly erode into the foundation of a relationship ending. So make sure that you don't have unexpected unexpressed expectations, and also you don't have unresolved issues in a relationship. And so I'm going to tell you guys something. Since I have moved to the UK, I've realized that like English people mostly, they prefer to sweep things under the carpet than to talk about things. In Africa, for me, you talk about things. If things are not working, or like as a family, like I grew up in Africa with my dad, and we talk about things. We have a laugh about things. And also my mom's side as well, with my stepdad, we talk about things, and then we don't sweep things under the carpet. And that's the person that I grew up with. If there is something that I really don't understand, I will simply ask that question. My parents will be very happy to explain. And or if I'm not happy, or sometimes if my mom is not happy, she'll express her feelings to my stepdad, and all those things and things like that. But when I come to the UK, what I realize is that sometimes people will just they'll prefer to be okay, even if they're not okay. They'll pretend that they are okay. They are okay with pretending, but that is not building a relationship. So not everyone does it, but there are some people that they are okay for sweeping things under the carpet and not actually confronting or resolving the issues. They just like to pretend that everything's fine, even if it's not fine. So make sure that if you are somebody who does that, make sure that leave everything unsaid in a relationship, and resolve conflict. Talk about it. It doesn't have to be like a fight or anything. Just talk about it and have fun about it, and make sure you resolve those problems. And also, the foundation of a relationship is very, very important when we are dealing with the relationships. Our foundation, and and then also address your insecurities. If you have insecurities, or maybe like sometimes if you are a woman who has had children, and you think that maybe your spouse, you think you're not good enough anymore, and express those insecurities and how you're feeling. And there are some people out there who are in a relationship, they feel that their spouse might leave them because they've had children, their body is no longer the same. But guess what? It's life. So make sure that if you are somebody who feels that way, make sure that you express your feelings to your spouse, or maybe get a counseling professional to actually help you to deal with those kind of things, and live the life that you desire in life, and enjoy every moment of life. And what else? Stay away from pornography. There are some people who are in a relationship, they still like to explore, watch pornography. Apparently, some people, they say, boost their relationship by watching somebody having sex. How can you watch somebody having sex boost your relationship? So you and your spouse, if you feel that you want to boost your relationship, or you want to turn things around, you might as well be your own, create your own tools, create your own style, whatever you want to do, instead of going to watch a porno movie and wanting. There's some men, they go and watch porno movie and they come back, they want their spouse to behave that way. That isn't the movie. It's done for money. Some porno movies are done for money, to make money. So your woman is with you because they love you. So we just have to know that we are not in the porno movies, we are in a relationship. So that is very, very important. That when I mentioned comparing your spouse before, so those are the things that we need to understand, that we cannot, like, if you, let's say you watch a porno movie and you want your spouse to behave the same, so that's no longer real. That is taking the fun. So make sure that you live your own life and build your own foundation in life, and create your own foundation in a relationship. Enjoy every moment with your spouse, because life is a game. Remember, we don't know what tomorrow brings, but we celebrate the today, because the today is beautiful. The today is awesome. The today is amazing. The today, so we can have all these things in our head, but know that your relationship is special, is unique. So keep it, let it stay that way, being unique. And relationship is, so the last thing that I leave you with is, a relationship shouldn't be a power struggle. Partners shouldn't compete in emotional games, but unfortunately people do. They should prioritize understanding and the cooperation, and also it's worth reevaluation. Relationship is foundation. Where your relationship is going is very, very, very important. So that's what I leave with you guys. And if you want to connect with me, you can connect with me at Hope Spring Eternal Introduction Agency, www.hseia.com. If you are looking for a coach for a relationship, go to the website as well. You'll find we have different coaches there on the website. And just let me know how you want to connect. And if you want coaching, please do connect for coaching. Life nowadays, life is a game. You have to know how to play the game of life. And God bless everyone. I will see you tomorrow.